I heard you're like
I've become
really
a diva.
hard to work for.
Yeah. Stapleview, I was like really fun because I was like, I'm so, green to this all.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like,
you're hardened.
I was like, make my merch, say the things.
I know.
Latte. Yeah. I've gotten a latte every single time.
Good.
Yeah. And it's in my special little cup.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coddled. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That's Enough. I'm your host, Grace Ryder, the podcast where we overshare online. And today with me, my guest is an actor, a comedian extraordinaire, EJ Marcus.
Hey.
Do. Hello and welcome. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you again.
Should we
tell the people? They're going to be so sick of hearing about Stapleview, but because Dylan was on the pod earlier.
Oh, yeah. Blah, blah,
but
blah.
I met you at Red Lion. After a Stapleview sort of day.
Because I was sort of like a Stapleview groupie, you could say.
You were. But honestly, you should have been in the cast. That was an insane miscast opportunity, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't even, honestly, actually, I don't think I've ever said this to you.
Exclusive.
Or anyone.
Or anyone. It's okay.
But no, I mean, the thing that I do say about when people are like, oh, like, when did you start posting online or whatever, is I'm like, well, my partner was working for this very cool show where there were all these like TikTokers.
Sure.
Sorry to be derogatory.
Absolutely not. Don't worry about it.
And you're like, don't worry about it.
Sorry to be so rude. Yeah. No, I'm more than a TikToker, but sure.
Funny, I exist outside the phone screen. But but anyway, like you guys were all like completely the reason why I started posting on TikTok, because I was like, oh, like you can be like fun and cool and also post on TikTok.
Oh, you can be like a normal person outside of it. Who were you imagining us to be? Like,
I had no preconceived notions about it. Like, I actually didn't even have TikTok on my phone.
Because of Stapleview, all that. So
yeah, because I was like,
can we take credit for your success a little bit?
Like, definitely. Because literally, I was like, wait, these guys are like being cool and also are like posting funny stuff. Like, I should try.
And you blew up, I would say, immediately.
I mean,
no, like literally, you did. And I was like, wait, let's get EJ on a show.
I know. And then meanwhile, I was just like continuing to go to Red Lion with you guys and getting so drunk on like nights where I worked the next day.
Because like we would sort of like, I mean, dare I say, like, and I've worked for now 2 sketch groups that classify themselves as the SNL of Gen Z.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 sketch, we would sort of do a live show, and then we would go to a bar afterwards.
Oh my God,
and I was
crazy.
Should I say I was underage? No,
listen.
Should I not say that? I wasn't drinking though. I honestly really don't even like to drink.
Yeah. No, I actually remember distinctly that you weren't drinking, because I was like, why isn't Grace drinking? I'm like, why isn't Grace drinking? No, I'm like, I'm normal.
You're like, wait, drink to finish this one off, I'll go get us some more.
I was like peer pressuring everyone in like a really intense way, and I get belligerent, and then
Grace should drink.
Yeah, Grace should. Why? It's pissing me off. She's not drinking. No, and then, but that is how I learned that you were 20.
Yeah, and then I think I turned 20. It was like we ended in April, and then I turned 21.
Yeah.
In that May. Oh, God.
Oh, spring chicken alert.
Spring chicken. And then I was like, wait, and then now if we go out, I'll drink.
Okay.
Are you sober now, though?
No.
I say that really
because of how I was acting at Red Lion. No.
You're sober now. Jesus Christ.
No, just because everyone in this town is a bit.
Well, no, I just feel that way because I feel like, so growing up, and we'll get to our overshares. I just realized we're gabbing.
Oh my God, we just launched right in.
We launched right in. This is going swimmingly already. So when I, like, growing up, I feel like a lot of people drink underage. Like, I'm from Wisconsin. They're like, I mean, I think there's like one bar to every person or some crazy statistic like that. Whatever. I don't know. They're drinking a lot. I never really did that. I never really partied. And I didn't go to college. So I didn't really party. And I only started like drinking, socially recently. And just as I'm coming up, like, let's go crazy, they're all like, we're sober now because we have been doing that since we were 16.
A decade, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
I know. That is, I do feel like that is, people say that Gen Z like doesn't drink. This is something that I've heard. I'm a cusp, so I actually can't speak for
You can't speak for
community.
either person.
Yeah, like,
you can't speak on anything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I have heard that Gen Z is sort of like alcohol skeptics or something, and they're instead can I say we?
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Are just like doing hard drugs.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's
I
like,
don't know.
It's the ketamine and the coke that I'm like, Well, also because I didn't go to college. I think people, once you go to college, you realize, those are things people are doing all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a prude when it comes to stuff like that.
That's completely fine.
I'm like,
obviously.
wait, I don't want to sort of do hard drugs. Is that okay?
That's completely fine. I mean, I was listening to this podcast yesterday where they were talking about like, they were talking about psychedelics specifically.
Okay.
This is like Radiolab. Sorry,
Shout out.
I don't know. Is that okay to talk podcasts?
Totally.
Yeah. I mean,
podcast to podcast.
Yeah. Like, I
Radiolab
think that's pretty normal. I feel like we're all in the community. But anyway, it was just basically they were talking about how like psychedelics are so intense for your brain to do, and like basically in some ways can like reopen your mind's capacity to like bring it back to how you were as a teenager.
Really?
I'm like completely butchering that probably, but
not what
that's what
it can sort of rewire your brain to an adolescence. Your frontal lobe
undevelops permanently. And then, and so it's actually permanent damage no matter what. No, but anyway, my point being that drugs are really intense. That was literally the thesis of that. And they ended it by being like, so basically if you're doing really intense drugs, like you should treat yourself as a 4-year-old for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Like everything is going to be a little bit harder. Well, I've been thinking about treating myself like a baby, like regardless, just like all the time. Because I was like, wait, what if? Because I've been sort of struggling with, I feel like I'm not living my life intentionally, where I'm like just kind of doing stuff.
You're
and
just
I'm
like on a track and like it's speeding along.
And things are happening to me, but I'm not like an active agent in any of it. I'm like, like I'm not making decisions. I'm like, okay, sure. Anyways. And that's not the overshare, but it's I'm like, what if I talk to myself like a baby, where I'm like, I wake up and I go, okay, Grace, what do you want to do today? And I'm like, let's go take a shower. Yeah. And then it's like I'm making that choice.
That's a very that's actually like a therapeutic method.
I've heard this.
I'm like,
and I kind of clocked it, made it all by myself.
I mean, and you did, and we'll give credit that like you invented it. Yeah, I'm sure my therapist learned it from you.
Yeah, it's
but yeah, no, that's actually an amazing way I think to talk, because most people do the opposite, which is like, get out of bed, you piece of lazy shit. You know, like you're like being really mean to yourself.
I hate you.
Yeah, I hate you, stupid.
I hate you, baby. Stupid
great.
Baby.
Yeah. So I think treating yourself like, okay, like, that's a big feeling, like literally I think is like how you're supposed to be doing it.
Because so many people are like, oh my, like I've realized, I don't know anything at all, and probably the people around me don't know much more. I mean, I'm sure they probably do, but also not as much, right? And I'm like, we're all just babies.
The more you see, the less
you know. Clip that.
Yeah.
Put that on merch. The more you see, the less you know.
I wrote that.
You wrote that. I believe it. Yeah. I believe it. But I'm like, if we're all babies, let's just treat ourselves like babies. Yeah. Because also, I guess also the thought was like couples, when they're coupled up, they're always being like babies to each other. I'm like, maybe we just all want to be babies all the time.
I think we do.
And be treated like a baby. Yeah. So start treating yourself like a baby.
I think treat yourself like a baby, you know, and like take yourself on adventures. I'm like in a moment in my life where I'm like overly therapized. I don't know if that's gonna like be coming through, but
wait, what does this mean? Like, so that means too much therapy?
Too much therapy, I would say.
So now what does that mean?
That basically means maybe this is my overshare. No, my overshare is like weirder, but this basically means that I am currently in couples therapy with my partner and also in therapy by myself.
Whoa, okay.
So that's like 2 therapists.
Is that common to be in couples therapy and on your own?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because the one is together and the one gotta talk about it later.
Right. You gotta kind of sidebar. Yeah. And then, So I'm like having a lot of, and I'm also in a mode where I'm like listening to a lot of like therapy podcasts. I'm in a sort of self-help era, I would say.
Okay.
Not because of like anything wrong.
I want to do all of this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wait, but maybe, I mean, if you are in 2 types of therapy, maybe listen to like a silly podcast. Yeah. Just to like have a little fun. Maybe, if I may, I know like I did coin that baby thing. So, and I'm not like trained at all. So like this is just unsolicited advice. Absolutely.
No, please.
Maybe something funny, silly.
Yeah, maybe sort of like this
podcast. Replace therapy with this podcast where I talk about shit for most of it.
I think that's good. I think that's smart.
Okay. Wait, let's get into our overshares.
Okay.
Mine, we really don't need to even like talk about at all because it's not even a big deal. But sometimes I think my manager is just nice to me because she doesn't want me to kill myself. And that's literally it.
Is there, I guess, and we don't have to, again, like we don't have to talk about this, but
sure,
like,
let's not talk about it.
Yeah, and we're not talking about it, but
not,
just to kind of ask a question about it, is that like within reason? Is she like, do you think she's like actually worried, or is that just something you're like, you are worried about me?
No, sometimes she compliments me. Like they'll both compliment me, and I'm like, I think it really just comes down to I don't think I can do anything good. Maybe is actually really the root of it, where I'm like, she's like, oh, that short film you made was so good. It was really good, and I was like,
you're like, shut up.
Okay, well, she hated it, and she's just telling me, so I don't like. And it's not like she doesn't want me to die because I'm making her so much money, because I'm really not making her that much money. It's really like I'm not making it like maybe like a coffee. She can get a coffee every day because of me.
Oh, which is something.
I guess true.
Yeah.
I guess true.
Come on.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm like, okay, stop being so nice to me.
You're like, you don't feel like you deserve the praise.
Sure. What's your overshare?
I'm like, no, we're not moving on. So can my overshare is something that I've been trying to talk about publicly a bit more.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many like exclusive, like I should be a journalist. I'm getting sound bites.
Like, I don't know why I came in like so ready
to be open.
I think it's
the therapy.
It's the therapy.
It's the therapy. You've done the therapy in 4 walls. You're ready to tell the world now.
Yeah, I'm ready to
Don't cry.
I'm ready to just sort of like bleed all over everything.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, sorry. Is that okay to use imagery like that?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I have that's actually like it's not, we don't have to talk about mine at all. It's not that dramatic. Okay. But basically I have my biggest insecurity is my feet. I think that they are like really, really weird looking. They're out. I'm barefoot. You have the exposure therapy.
My therapist recommended. Yeah. All right, let's not wear the shoes today.
No shoes
EJ,
today.
no shoes today.
Ew. Sorry, walking on these streets. Ugh. But anyway, and in part it's because specifically when I was in elementary school, I was running around outside and specifically my brother was chasing me and I tripped over our dog, and that caused me to stub my toe so badly that my big toenail fell off.
Yep. Okay, so
it regrew. Like, I'm being serious when I'm saying I'm like actually trying to talk about this more often, because I'm like, I know that other people share this experience. Yeah. So it regrew and it looks weird. Okay, so did it regrow in a different shape of like a toenail, like not your traditional toenail shape? Yeah. So it's it regrew like, I mean, listen, yes. What is normal toenail shape? Right. Though, really? Like literally, like, okay, like you have like pretty feet or something. Like some people do. Yeah. Some people really. A lot of people do. Yeah. No, I come from a family of like where the big the second toe in is longer than the big toe. That's my family. I think that's what that's called, angel feet. I might have made that up, but either way, it's kind of sweet. I didn't know there was names for feet. I don't know. I'm walking it back. I don't know. Walking it back. You're like, oh, she's not kinky like that. Yeah, she doesn't know the. I'm like, sorry, devil feet. Yeah, devil feet, like nasty. Yeah, so sorry. So it's grown back in a peculiar sort of shape. Yeah, the shape is weird. I would say it has like the texture of like scale. It's like scaly. Well, actually, like scales. Like okay, so what the armadillo? Same. Their scales same as ours. The keratin. Oh, same thing. Okay, so it's just natural. So I guess it is normal to be scaly. Yeah, in that regard. So mine just kind of like has, or like a cat's tongue, kind of. No, because that's more like sharp. Like that's yeah. I feel like it's just like there's like ridges that I'm kind of like that's unique. Have you ever done a pedicure? And yeah. And was that able to fix it, or is it like it's just like grown like this now? Like it's stayed that way. You know, it's just kind of stayed that way. And at this point, I'm like, okay, we're going on. This was 18 years ago. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know how much hope there is for it. Sure. But it's something that like brings me, like I like have this like reflexive, like if I have my feet out, if I'm like at the pool or the beach or something, I like reflexively like cover my toes, so, like tuck them in. Yeah. And so I just feel like I don't know how much of like an overshare that is, but I like,
No, that's great. Overshare.
to me, it's something that like I'm not being sarcastic. I like would not speak about for
Holy
a long time.
Because
I was just so like, I was like grossed out by my own feet.
Yeah. No, and honestly, I feel like you're like in, and I'm staring at your feet. I'm just
You're not going to see anything, Grace. I'm not going to take them out for you.
Okay, maybe one day. But I feel like feet, that's already, even if people have, quote, normal or good looking feet,
beautiful,
already people are kind of like, oh, my feet, like covering them.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's already kind of like, no one would be the wiser.
Yeah.
If you were covering your feet, they'd just be like, oh, well, people don't like showing their feetsies.
Yeah.
And it's just the one toe?
It's the one toe that really gets me, but I will say like the whole, true.
Could be
worse. Could be all of them. Could be. God, it could be.
God, it could be all of them, but it is unfortunately the biggest one.
It is the biggest one, and it's like the kind of thing where I just like I think in my mind, and this is I guess even like more like deeper I'm sure there's things to psychoanalyze about this.
Sure.
I was very like growing up, I was kind of like, okay, this toe is weird. I'm like understanding that this toe is weird.
Oh, this is when it started
like
going
after
back.
the incident.
Okay,
yeah,
got you.
It grew
So
back.
you knew,
I was like, something's off, whatever. I feel self-conscious of it. But I had this idea in my mind of like, I know that I'll be like a full grown up and like mature when my feet are beautiful.
Whoa, really?
Like I was like, I'll have my shit together. I'll know I have my shit together when I can like take off my shoes and it's like, aw, like, you know, I'm like not even, no care in the world.
Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah, there's some truth to that, right?
I don't know. Is there? Does it? Because I know that there are some people that feel like I am, you're never going to see me wearing sandals without socks.
Sure. That's fine. And also maybe could it just be you're just that, if that's where you're most comfortable, that's just how you exist the rest of your life. Is that fine? Or is it like, oh, I really need to just be barefoot?
Because no, there's something about the freedom of that that's so beautiful.
Oh, just like raw dog in the feet, letting the dogs
people are
out.
just like, oh, let me take my shoes off, la la la, you know. And I'm like hanging out at home, like I always have socks on.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, I feel that a little bit with like the hair on my toes. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I have like hairy toes. But
yeah, I used to like shave the hair on my toes in middle school, but then I'm like, that's actually weirder.
Oh, I shave it sometimes. Sometimes it's just for fun. I mean, it's so quick.
Just little tufts.
Yeah, it's just mine get pretty long.
Oh, couple tufts.
And they've sort of migrated to the rest of the feet as well. Like normally it was just the one. I think as I get older, I just get hairier.
Yeah,
but I feel that literally last podcast I was telling the boys, I was telling the boys I'm insecure about my breasts.
Oh, okay, yeah,
they were weirdly shaped. So I
but it's like also see, it's like now I'm gonna have the same reaction that you had to my feet. I'm like, so what is a normal breast?
Exactly. See, we all have the one thing that we're like whatever, and I think really, and it's like no one's really seen them yet. Referring to my breasts, no one's really seen them yet, and also hair on them as well.
Yeah, also normal,
which is normal. Who's to say? Who's to say what's normal in this world? Really, I mean, and maybe you just got to do what you got to do to protect your peace. Maybe it's wearing the socks, and maybe one day you'll get to the free feet. But honestly, there's a lot of people out there who have like fucked feet that are free. Also, you could just like fake it till you make it type of deal.
Just be like, oh, this toenail, I didn't even notice.
It's true.
Kind of thing. I wish.
Oh, you could every time you like someone points it out. What the heck?
Yeah.
Like freak out.
Yeah.
Wait, can you put nail polish on? No, wait. I'm sorry. It's the shape.
It's the shape, and yeah, nail polish. I have tried it. First of all, my feet, when there's nail polish on them, they just look like ogre feet to me.
I hate nail polish.
It makes it look like someone's tried to make something beautiful that's like, we don't need to do that.
Like landlord type painting.
Yes,
you're like painting over all the outlets.
Exactly. Like, you still see the ridges.
Yeah. Like there's a cockroach under there. Yeah. And it's like,
and you're like, what is that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tried. I tried.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's like not cute.
It's like, no, it's not cute. Listen, wait. I'm like really honored that you told us this.
You're
welcome. Are you going to tell more podcasts?
I honestly, this is my second one.
Oh, wait, this is your second one?
But I'm saying I'm trying to talk about it more.
Oh my gosh, wait. So now I feel like now when people go to like, because you do realize when people sort of, and I'm guilty of this, when people like, I'm like, oh, I'm interviewing EJ, let me go watch a podcast he was on recently. And then it's like, it's just going to be the feet thing. So they're going to probably be like, Well, is he all he wants to talk about is the feet thing?
But it's like, okay, here's
Did your therapist tell you to do this? Every podcast you're going on, I want you to talk about the toenail.
No.
Listen, my sister, and I'm going to share this. I hope my sister doesn't mind. She had ingrown toenails on both her toes. And those were,
brutal.
Yeah, her feet look rough, in my opinion. So we both have her things. Her feet look rough. My tits look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, my tits sort of resemble her feet, her big toes in a weird way.
Oh.
And I don't know how to explain that. Sort of like a flattened triangle.
Flat
pointing down.
Yeah.
Wide flattened triangle pointing wide.
No, yeah, totally. I'm there. It all sounds normal to me.
Yeah, I think honestly, also I think I'm realizing with this podcast too, because we have viewer submissions, which we'll get into. But people are gross and things are gross.
Bodies are bodies.
Like we fart and poop. Like we all like go to a toilet that a lot of people sit in and excrete stuff we ate before. Like there's things that are gross about us that I think we are sort of like trying to like pretend like we're like perfect, like like, oh, I do liquid IV drop, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
But it's we're gross.
I feel a little bit like, and yeah, I think it is an everywhere thing, and I also think that like there is a bit like of like perfectionism in LA that's like really intense and specific. Of like, I do feel like
people love you when you're different though too.
That's so true.
So it's like they want you to be perfect and whatever, but then it's like, oh, when you have this like thing for just being yourself, they're like, oh my god, wait, I love that. It's because they all want to be themselves and they all want someone to give them permission to be footless on the freaking sands.
So freaking true, dude.
Like this literally changed my life. Shout out Bob Dylan. Shout out Timothy Chalamet. But he was like, you got to be a little weird looking to be interesting. He's like, what's the quote line? I don't know. He said that.
That sounds right. Yeah.
That's the whole quote.
You got to be a little weird
Shout out
looking.
Timothy Chalamet. You got to be a little weird. Like, what was exactly he said? Something like that.
Something like that, probably.
Yeah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to look a little fucked up to be interesting.
You definitely have to have something unique going on.
Yeah. Maybe it's your teeth are a little silly.
Yeah.
Or
I love silly teeth.
Or your mouth goes like this a little bit.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or
it's
something,
like, it's fun to look at.
There has to be something, right, unexpected.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, you can look at something because it's so pretty, but people also look at things because they're so ugly. And they're both looking, honey, and that's all we want is attention.
100%. 100%.
But also acceptance and that stuff.
Acceptance of like ourselves and stuff like that.
And and you can like tell me I'm wrong on all these things because I'm just saying like, I'm saying whatever.
I think you're 100% correct.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
I think I've sort of always thought that I'm always 100% correct and perfect. I just start texting someone.
I'm like,
I'm pulling out my phone. Yeah. And just.
Yeah. That's,
no, I'm just kidding. We have viewer submissions.
Oh, I'm so excited for these actually.
Yeah. There was one yesterday that gave me just a shiver down my spine, which you can listen to on the pod.
Okay.
Oh, this is really good. Okay, so this is a viewer submission. You guys can send in your submissions, DM the podcast or our email, which is this podcast is called That's Enough with Grace at gmail.com. I forget it every time. That should be on a t-shirt. We should make that. Anyways. So this first person said, when I was 10, I used to have dreams that I would find baby Jesus and take care of him.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I feel like that is like, I relate to that because that sort of took me back to when I was younger and I was like, I would pray. I was like, Jesus, if you are real, materialize in my room. And I would try to tell him, materialize in my room. Like, I want to see you. Like, if you are real, please show yourself. And I was like, well, then he'll be real if that's the case. Yeah. And he never did.
Were you raised pretty religious?
Like, kind of. Like, it's weird. Like, my dad was kind of like evangelical, like non-denominational sort of vibe. And then my mom was Catholic. But I don't think they agreed on like which way to raise me.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Evangelical, but non-denominational. What does that mean? You're just like intense about religion in general?
I guess like, I honestly don't know. Those are the two words I've always used to describe it. I'm not. I
no
know
problem,
evangelical is like you have to go and tell them, hey, be Christian. Right? Like you have to
you're
evangelize.
Evangelizing.
Yeah. So totally. Like that. So like they're a little more like, hey, come on.
Yeah.
Be Christian. But then non-denominational is kind of, I feel like they're just like, hey, we like Jesus or something like that. So
basically what I'm hearing is he was just like a social butterfly.
Nailed it.
Guys, okay, something amazing has happened. I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah. No, that's actually a perfect description. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he was like pretty chill about it. I don't know, but whatever. And then my mom, Catholic, And I don't think they agreed on which way to raise me. Because
Right.
you have, if you're Catholic, you have to get like confirmed and stuff. And I never did that.
There's a bunch of stuff you have to do.
There's a bunch of stuff. And I guess you get like a saint or something like this.
Oh, yeah. That has like a different name, but it's like you're a saint.
I guess. Yeah. I'm not Catholic. I'm not totally sure. You were more familiar?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like I know like,
You have like
basic
Catholic friends and things.
Yeah, like, I guess a couple. But I think I feel like I know stuff about Catholicism just of like sort of like
Pop
being
culture.
Pop culture and sort of it being like a popular one and stuff like that.
It's really in pop culture.
It's trendy.
It's very trendy.
And it's sexy.
It's sexy. It's one of the sexier ones because they have the rosemary chain or the
rosary.
Rosary, yeah.
Yeah.
The rosemary chain.
The rosemary chain.
And they sort of like do that.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Yeah, no, I would always sort of test God and be like, okay, do it if you're real. And if you're real. And I was always, which maybe is kind of a dangerous game to play.
Because he might show up.
Because, yeah, like, don't test me.
Oh, totally.
Don't test me.
Fucking, are you questioning me?
Are you questioning
girl? Yeah.
Girl, I'll turn your wine into blood.
Yep.
No, but I feel like my religious journey was weird because I felt like I became more religious because of my friends. They were in like youth group and stuff, and so we would do that.
Well, I've heard things about youth group, but first of all, that was sexy.
Youth group is sexy?
Well, I've just like
Okay.
I feel like it was very like what the cool. I didn't really grow up around like that many religious people, but what I heard about youth group vibes was that it was like you would go on like trips and people would like hook up. And it was just like
not happening
what all
with
the
our
like
group.
hot girls were doing.
No, like that's what I wish would happen. Our church actually took it very seriously.
Okay.
I wish they were hooking up and I wish that was sort of the drama, but no, everyone was dating to marry and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So they were very like,
So maybe
like we can't hang out unless my parents are in the same room. Like
So
not that extreme, but like
yeah.
that mentality.
That's the vibe though. It was very like people were drinking the Kool-Aid a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like maybe that is literally what was happening in around me as well, and I was just like, that looks hot and fun.
You're like, they're having sex for sure at this camp.
I'm like, oh, they're on the beach.
Yeah,
like,
they're on the beach. They're fucking.
Yeah.
They're fucking on the beach.
Yeah, I'm like,
and
that
they're all
was awesome.
praying. Yeah. That's great. You guys all just went and had sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Oh no, I'm sure. I wish that would have happened. I think one time, on the bus, this guy put his head in my lap, and I was like,
whoa, electric.
I was like. But that's about as sexy as it got.
Because it was like horny vibes.
Well, yeah, I was like, well, his head's by my crotch and he's looking up at my boobs.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a flirt. There's always a flirt. You always have a flirt in youth group.
Yeah, I bet.
There's always a flirt who's like, you want to sin with me?
Yeah, and you're like, don't even start.
Don't even start because I can't stop. That's the thing too with like Mormons too, like soaking and all that stuff. It's like, just have sex.
I know.
All these wrap around like anal. I feel like anal like, whoa. I know. Just have sex.
Well, I feel like when everyone in middle school was scared to have sex, they were all just like giving each other head. Which I'm like, that's pretty intense. That's pretty intense.
That's pretty intense, is it not?
Yeah, that's like a lot. I don't know.
What? They're like, well, we can't do this, but
but I'll suck you
off.
I'll
suck your dick until
like,
you.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think they should just like sort of just have sex.
I think so too.
Oh, there was a thought I had to accompany that because what else was it? Like they are sort of like Mormons are soaking and stuff. You're familiar with the soaking. Mm-hmm. And anal's difficult because it's painful. Mm-hmm. Huh. Must not have been worth mentioning.
Is there anything else around like sex you wanted to? I mean, I'm down to go down any road.
It's mostly just. I was gonna say something.
Yeah. Huh. What? No. Got away from me. Oh.
Yeah,
it's a lot of adjusting.
I mean, it's really just got away from me.
Yeah, no
whatever.
problem.
It's not a big deal.
It'll come back to you.
It's probably will. Let's read a couple other ones just for funsies. Mm-hmm. I was a chronic bedwetter until I was 11 or 12, and as a teen, I used to piss my pants a lot. Oh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I feel like that to me is the kind of thing that's like people are all like, oh, like this is so embarrassing, but I feel like it's like a lot of people have issues with that. I don't know. Yeah, especially the bedwetting thing. I'm like, I don't know.
Also, I think when you're 12, like you think you're an adult, but as you get older, 12 is young.
12,
that's a baby. Yeah, still piss your pants. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think, right? 12 is 12 is pretty young.
12 is definitely pretty young. I think the difficult thing about the age of 12 is that some 12-year-olds do
know how to
look
pee.
like adults, and some of them do look like children still. Like, I feel like that's what makes that age so traumatic.
Is some of your peers are hitting puberty at that age, and they're starting to develop in ways where you're like, I'm still pissing the bed.
Right.
No one knows
or maybe you are also developing and still pissing the bed.
Oh, sure.
It's really hard.
Sure.
Being a kid is like literally the hardest thing you could ever do.
It is the hardest thing, and it's like go easy. If you see a kid, like, be easy on them.
Seriously, we're back to be gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself like a baby. Also talk to the babies like they're
baby. But also, like, a 12-year-old, they also want to be taken as an adult.
Yeah.
So maybe, like, you could be a little harder on them.
Yeah. Because you want them to be ready for the world. Yeah.
You gotta be ready for the world.
Yeah. Stop pissing yourself.
Stop pissing yourself, diaper baby.
Yeah.
Diaper baby. Oh, okay. I'm obsessed with the guy who plays Ryan in my school's High School Musical. Ooh, whoa, a little love confession.
Okay.
Whoa. Now,
that's the whole thing?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Just, they have a...
Okay. Sorry.
My overshare. Yeah.
It's totally fine.
That's it. I went into depth about my foot thing, and they sort of just said they like Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
their High School Musicals.
I'm sure like we all would have a crush on Ryan. Like,
I didn't know what gay was.
Yeah.
Growing up, but I knew Ryan was from High School Musical.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah. Like, I didn't have the words. Like, I don't think I was like I understood what gay was, but I was like, I feel like he likes men the way I do too.
Yeah, you're like, definitely something's fruity for sure.
I was like, something's fun here about him.
Something, I'm getting the sense something's a little queer.
Yeah, and I just didn't have the vocabulary.
Was it his like pink Newsboys cap?
I think it was the hat mostly. But also like, yeah, probably that.
Was it a pink hat?
I think it was gray. I'm envisioning gray, but maybe that's because I have that thing.
Right, but he was besties with... You're colorblind? Sorry. Sorry.
No, just like, you know, when people are like, okay, picture an apple. Do you see a hyper-realistic apple, like a cartoon image, or like a black and white apple? Have you heard of any of this?
No. And so you're picturing a cartoon black and white apple?
I'm picturing a screen grab of... And everyone at home, picture with me. Mm-hmm. I'm picturing Sharpay Evans, Ryan Evans, black and white in front of the locker. He has a gray hat, but maybe that's just because everything's gray.
You picture everything in black and white.
I think so. Maybe like, it's like when you take the opacity or the saturation, you turn it down a little bit so there's a hint of color.
Mm-hmm. That is so interesting. This is a thing?
I think so. Look it up on TikTok.
Okay.
Look it up on TikTok when you get home.
Okay.
Or on your walk or ride or whatever, however you got to here.
Okay. I walked, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wait, great.
Yeah, I know. Whatever.
The weather is like, segue. Wait, here we go. Wait, the weather is great because we're going to Universal Studios.
Oh. You did it. I was like, how's she going to do it?
Is she going to do it? Is she going to play? I think this weather
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. I think this weather we're having is perfect for Universal Studios or like a theme park. It's like warm and like sunny, but there's like it almost feels like it's about to rain, but it's not going to.
I will say this is exactly what the weather was when I went to Universal Studios and had the worst day of my life.
And tell us about this, please. Love Universal.
I love Universal and would go again to redeem the place for me. But basically, we went because, like I was saying to you before we started recording,
yes,
my partner Rue had been completely spoiled by the time that you guys went together because you went in a big group of
the squad,
the
Stapleview people. We got tickets to like film videos there, which was really me pushing that. I was like, Sam, wait, I think there's some sketches. We go there, we just make a bunch of sketches, and then if we make some sketches, Universal will catch wind and they'll just send us there and we can do promo for Nintendo World and things.
Which is like genius, by the way. Like so smart. And basically it worked out perfectly, was my understanding.
Well, Stapleview it's still happening.
I remember it so...
I remember.
and everything went according to plan.
Blew the whole budget on the Universal tickets. It was my fault.
I remember being so jealous when you guys went because obviously you were just going to Universal Studios and that's enough to be jealous of. But also like I was working... At the time, I was working at a preschool. I was like an assistant teacher in a preschool classroom.
Yes.
And Rue's texting me all day being like, here's us on this ride. We cut the whole line. Like, we're getting free stuff. Like, I'm like, it's a work day. Wow. And you guys are at Universal Studios. I was like...
Kind of messed up Rue was texting you all that.
Yeah.
Take a hint.
Yeah, literally take...
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah, like don't play it like for my sake. Like, it just sucks. But anyway...
Yeah, it wasn't. Line's crowded.
Yeah, it's fine. But anyway, so you guys went, you had a perfect day.
Yeah.
Fast forward to like a few months later, Rue's like, we got to go to Universal Studios. It's the best place ever.
Yeah.
And this was sort of like the salt in the wound. They were like, EJ, I bet like they're gonna let you cut the lines too. Like, I was with all these like famous TikTok people, and like they let you cut all these lines, and I was like, oh my god, totally, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so
obviously,
sort of.
Yeah, I'm like, it's gonna.
When is it gonna happen?
No, not a soul cared that I was there, which is good, humbling. I love it.
Yeah,
but it was also just like, yes, it was spring break. We didn't realize, so it was one of the most like everything was sold out.
Yeah.
At one point, we're like, okay, we can't get onto any rides because all their lines are like 3.5 hours long. So we'll just go get a turkey leg. They're out of turkey legs. Literally, like, it was just like, like beating us down.
Oh my God.
So we just spent so much time like I was like this. And it's like there's so many people everywhere. So you're just like, why are we like, why
it's overstimulating.
Are we doing this?
You don't have a turkey leg. You're hungry. Your feet are tired. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, and you're like, do we leave? Like, we spent so much money trying to get
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like $100 just to get in.
So that was tough. And then, so we were with a couple of friends. Eventually, us and our other friend were like, we're going to leave.
Yeah.
Our fourth friend, Sally, she's like, okay, like, you guys head out. I want to say, because I really, really want to ride the Jurassic Park ride. Is that
that's my favorite one.
Yeah. She was like, I really just like, I'm going to wait and I'm going to ride. We're like, totally, Sally, like, do it. We're on our way home. Sally's like texting us. She's like in this long line. She's like, I'm almost there, whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever, like an hour later, Sally texts us and is like, so I finally got on the ride, and in the middle of it, the ride broke down and we got stuck.
Oh my God.
And we were like, cursed place. So I was kind
horrible.
of, that was
get out in the water with all the like electronics and had to like get out.
They're like, I have no idea.
That really sucks.
So that was really tough. All of that being said, you're going to have like the most amazing.
I didn't even think that was a possible thing. Really, what happened with the fast passes of it all is we went on the mummy ride and one of the operators recognized us.
Yeah.
And just printed out like a ton of fast passes and then just gave them to us, and they were like, anytime you want to come back, like, let me know, which I should check my DMs for that name. But that's the only reason it happened. It's not like we like paid for, it was just like, but it was kind of, which was awesome.
It's an amazing, when that happens, you're like, oh, like this is how it should be at amusement parks, is like running from ride to ride, just like
fast pass only. Fast pass only. No, it's a pay to play system they got. It is at those things. Otherwise, you're sitting in those lines forever.
Right, questioning every decision you've ever made to get you to that point is how I got, because I'm like, you're like 2 hours in to waiting in a line. You're like, I still see so many people in front of me, and you're like, that's crazy. What am I doing?
I feel like I've gotten really lucky at every amusement park, because I kind of go on like the off season. Like when we were here doing Stapleview, we went to Magic Mountain, but we went in February. Mm-hmm. Not a soul.
Yeah.
Not a soul.
There are ways to game it for sure.
There's ways to game it. Yeah. So
we went on Magic, because that's Six Flags, right? Six Flags.
Six Flags.
We went on Thanksgiving Day. And that was actually amazing.
Wait, see, that's how I want to spend like Christmas and stuff. I'm like, Mom, Christmas is the same every year. Let's like go somewhere.
Let's take advantage. Nobody's out.
Let's
go do it.
Was it decorated for Thanksgiving? Was there some turkeys?
Maybe, but not even really. Like, it wasn't like themed at all. It was just like, it felt like we had kind of like been like, oh, like nobody's here. Like, and we got fast passes. That was the way to do it.
Well, but then when no one's there, do you need the fast passes?
It definitely helped. Like, I think it would have been okay without it, but it definitely made it so that we were like, wait, this is actually incredible.
It's kind of the best, because then you really are hopping from ride to ride.
Yeah.
Do you like amusement parks?
I do.
Parks?
I do.
You do?
I do really like it.
Wait, have you been to Disney World?
I've never been to Disney World.
Same. Disneyland?
I've been to Disneyland once when I was like 11. And that was a fast pass, like,
whoa, you did the works.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get on a Disney show.
Okay.
Because I think you get free access.
I would freaking hope so.
And I think it's like exclusive, like, some Disney people. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I won't. They're not here. Mm-hmm. They're not here. Thank God.
Okay.
But because they're not supposed to tell you this. But sort of, I think if you work for Disney owns everything.
Yeah.
So, but if you work for like ABC or Hulu or something, I think you can get in there.
I think that is maybe true.
And like someone takes you, like they have like an employee like take you around and like you cut the lines.
Wow.
I've heard.
Okay.
I've heard.
I believe that.
So I just need to become Rapunzel. I need to
Yeah. Get in there as a princess.
Get in there as a princess, maybe, or yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Or like a Marvel movie. Maybe I need to be like a hero in there.
Done.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, what about water parks? Or are you like?
Do I like water parks?
Yeah. How are you feeling about those?
I don't think I'll ever go to a water park again in my life, and it's something that Rue and I actually talk about a bit. Because I think in part,
I've struck something.
I found something. Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Water parks at any age are vulnerable because it's like you're spending a lot of time, again, standing in line, but this time you're in your bathing suit. Yes. And probably sopping wet. Sopping wet in a bathing suit, usually. Standing in line with a bunch of other bodies. Mm-hmm. That alone is an intense experience.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's a little weird. As a kid, I love swimming. Like I would go crazy for a water park sort of situation.
Yeah.
I did have an experience when I was 8 years old at a weird indoor water park in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from.
Okay.
Where I was going down a slide and the 16-year-old lifeguard or whatever sort of, I don't even overestimate it. They sent someone down too soon after me.
Ooh, okay.
And the someone just happened to be like a full-grown man. No. And so our bodies collided and he like, I guess instinctively his legs sort of like wrapped around me.
Oh my God.
And then we kind of, because of our combined weight, we shot out of the slide so fast.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
No, it's okay. We shot out of the slide so fast. I obviously screamed at the top of my lungs. And we kind of, in my memory, I'm like, I don't know how true this is. In my memory, we really got a lot of air. And we
and you're skidding across.
And we sort of boom, boom, boom,
and
boom.
he's got his legs, your head in a chokehold with his legs.
We're bullet-like, to be honest. And so then we eventually, landed into the water. Yeah. I was immediately like surrounded by lifeguards because I think people maybe assumed something horrible had happened to me.
This man killed you.
He of course was like, I mean, it wasn't his fault,
Right, yeah.
But like, but it was a bit traumatizing.
Oh no, that's scary. That's really scary.
I actually, at the time, like I think it was one of those things that like, as it was happening, I was kind of like I was fine. So I was like, well, whatever. And I kind of think I got like the trauma part of it came from like everyone else's responses to like everyone, all the adults around me were like, oh my God. And I was like,
I'm supposed to be
like, I was
scared.
like, oh, I'm supposed to be upset right now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that isn't why I wouldn't go to water parks again. The reason why I wouldn't go to water parks again is because of the sort of standing in line in a bathing suit and my sort of being like transgender. Sorry to get dark. My sort of being transgender. And sort of, it's kind of like, even for me, like walking down the street fully clothed, you're sort of like, who knows what people are going to like do or say.
Yeah. With a water park is like times 10.
Sort of like, it's sort of like,
oh my gosh.
That feels like a little bit vulnerable. And
yeah, totally.
I don't know. I think that people are sort of,
Like you think people would be looking at you, like anyone that's looking at you, you're like, oh, is it because I'm trans?
I think I would just be like on high alert in a way of like.
And you wouldn't be able to relax and have fun. Like you were when you got this 40-year-old man almost decapitated you.
Yeah. So I think it's like those kinds of experiences combined, I feel like make water parks feel a little less than hospitable to me.
Wait, okay. So this is just. So first of all, I'm just thinking because I feel like a lot of queer people like theme parks and water parks and stuff. Mm-hmm. Is there a space for like a queer water park?
A queer water park.
Where it's just queer people, where they can finally go down a slide and we will only hire, we're not hiring 16-year-olds, we're hiring adults who know.
Probably
who know their shit.
Old
like 40-year-old, like 50, like 60.
The oldest thing I can think of 40 years old.
the fucking like the oldest, like literally like freaking
decrepit, like ancient,
Nosferatu, like 41.
Yeah, ew.
I still think my parents are 41 and they're not.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my dad's 41 and they're like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh no, he's like almost 60.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like,
totally.
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, but maybe queer water park.
Queer water park, that really
something
smart.
In the works.
You should keep that for yourself.
Yeah.
You should maybe bleep that out so people don't steal it.
Yeah.
Because that's a good one.
Straight white woman, I think I should do that.
Okay. Are you looking for me to confirm?
As a straight white woman. No, it's just last podcast, Grace Kulenschmidt, she said that like I'm not gay. And then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gay, but why close that door?
you know, you can be bi-curious forever.
Forever. Yeah.
A lot of people
honestly, yeah.
are.
I think I'm going to be bi-curious forever.
Yeah. You could just be curious too.
I just love life and I'm always curious. So I'm just going to, one, I'm going to start a queer water park, and two, I'm going to just always keep that door open.
Yeah. I mean, the water park could be like bi-curious.
George. Sorry.
What? Yeah, bi-curious George.
Bi-curious. We'll work on it.
Questioning. Waves of questioning.
Waves of questioning. It's just the most insufferable water park. There's like therapy in the wave pool.
Yeah, there's no slides.
There's no slides. It's just pool, and people are like floating around like this, like they're on hallucinogenics and sort of like watching like the stars.
Yeah,
which actually sounds awesome.
That sounds really nice.
That sounds beautiful. EJ, thank you so much for being on the Podski.
Oh my God, thank you for
We're calling it Podski now.
Podski. Yep.
I had a blast chatting with you. It was great to catch up. Do you want to promote anything?
I would say by the time this comes out, I will probably have something amazing on the horizon, and you could probably find it at my Instagram.
Okay, Instagram is the best way to find you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And what is the Instagram?
EJ having fun.
EJ having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and dare I say we had fun?
You can say it.
Change it. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
EJ, that's enough. I've just sort of instinctually been doing this now. So, and that's like, because I'm like cutting everyone off.
Enough. Yeah.
That's enough. Stop it. Maybe I should scream. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.